You just never see the camera, do you?
Oh. Stop this first and you can start again. I won't say much. Right, so. It's a bit slippery.
Is that okay to do, given that there was flour in that bowl?
Yeah, it's fine. It's not going to get. Oh, but that's
yeah,
fine.
put it back in the bottle.
It's fine.
I don't think it's combining that well.
No, the oil and the water is difficult. Can emulsify. Measure the fillings. Right, so they're saying for.
No, keep going.
They're saying for 115 grams of flour, you need 30 grams of paste. Flour or?
Oh, I don't know.
It's a bit
It's going
soft.
to stick.
It's a bit soft.
It's going to stick. It always sticks.
Yeah, but I've had an idea.
So how many of these?
As many as we can get out of the packet, I suppose, because we don't know how many wrappers we're going to get out of the dough, do we?
No.
And anyway, we'll just get it chucked. See if this will stop the sticking.
Is that just more flour?
It's confectioner's sugar, which is what this is made with.
Okay.
So I'm just putting more flour in now. Right, you want to do another 60? I'll scoop it out with a spoon this time.
When you said you want to do another 60, I thought you meant like 60 balls.
No.
No.
More, does it need more cutting?
Oh no.
What's happened? It's broke. That was you did it with that. That fell out.
All right. Yep. Could have been a lot worse. Could have been a lot better.
That's because it was messed with. But lumps of egg in the top.
Yeah. Is it just the top, or do we also do the side?
Just, if you can do the sides, if you've got enough, then I would do everything. Aye, because they want it all nice and toasty brown.
Oh my god, it's so steamy. Okay. Today is Mid-Autumn Festival, which is one of my favourite holidays. It has things like mooncakes, which I made yesterday, because of its association with Chang'e, the moon goddess. And I am so happy to have two gorgeous books now dealing with like retellings of that myth. And I'm really sad that I don't have Daughter of the Moon Goddess to read for it, because I've already read it and it is gorgeous. And I talked about it in my, what was the last month? August Mildred Conathon reading wrap-up video. So today I will be reading An Arrow to the Moon by Emily X.R. Pan. This lovely Fairy Loot edition from April. I am looking forward to it. I'm also a little bit nervous. Emily X. Arpan is beloved, especially for the astonishing colour of After, but I look at this, which is called A Spellbinding Reinterpretation of Romeo and Juliet, filled with romance, magic, and Chinese mythology. And that's all well and fine, but it feels very, very young YA, which is great. I'm glad they have that. But it's a wee bit. Hui, the archer, is now Hunter Yi, and Chang'e, the moon goddess, is now Luna Chang. And I think that could be fun for some people, but I feel like that kind of thing is immature. So we will see how this goes. It is quite a pretty book all the same, and I do love the spray painted edges. It is almost 400 pages, however, so probably not going to finish it in a day, especially because I'm really running behind on like 9 audiobook loans from the library, and they are all running out of time. But we're going to give it a go, and if I'm still vlogging this tomorrow, then I'm still vlogging this tomorrow. These chapter headers are really lovely. I feel like YA likes audience age bracket and character age bracket to be in alignment, so it does really surprise me how old these two are, because this feels incredibly young to me. Like, we get it. It's a Chang'e and Hui Romeo and Juliet retelling. We've had 2 fish tank scenes, and Hunter has been called like an arrow that's gone off course, and for her, shoot for the moon, and if you miss you'll still land among the stars. And it's like, yes, we're not children, you don't need to hammer this nail into our skulls, we get it. But of course, like, I just don't like these references in general. That's purely a me thing. That said, I didn't realise that this was a fantasy, so that's a really interesting element. And I'm curious to see how this plays out. The fish thing I kind of get because moon and tides, but fireflies not so much. So yeah, that's interesting. I hadn't noticed before, but the chapter headers actually change depending on whether it's Hunter, Luna, or some secondary or tertiary character, and that's a really lovely detail. I'm only on page 77. I have been, you can probably tell by the hair, sleeping between this. We still don't have any context for why Hunter's family are running or what they're running from. And I get that, they don't know either, the boys don't know. But it is a little frustrating. I'm not going to say it's bad, but it's just a little frustrating. We did get like a very kind of vague torture has been happening scene, so that is interesting. Mostly though, I'm just really intrigued by Cody. I think because it said a Romeo and Juliet retelling, that I was kind of stuck in those two, because Romeo and Juliet retellings tend to only care about Romeo and Juliet. But Cody has got a rabbit now, and it's called JD, which I'm not keen on. Just like, as a personal note, I don't like reading about anyone with my name, and I don't tend to like personally go by that. But it's still But it is really interesting. I'm wondering whether that is like meant to be his role or if he's just kind of like a cute reference. I really like Cody. I think he's my favourite character. Okay, so we're over 100 pages in now, and I have some thoughts. The length of the chapters, and it's not uncommon for them to be spread over 2 pages, really contributes to that feeling that this is a book meant for a younger audience. But also, I am so tired today, I don't know if I'd have gotten this far if they were longer. Now this bit's going to make me sound weird, like I don't understand what retelling is. I guess I did come in with the assumption that this was kind of in a vacuum. They mention Sun Wukong, which is Journey to the West, which I'm not the most familiar with that, but I know to mention that and kind of in the context of the story, not like remixing it, feels weird given how the prologue is written. Now I understand retellings change things, but I don't know, it registers differently to me. I don't know how to articulate that. But my main concern is that we have the fireflies, we have magic, and that feels like it's pushing these two characters together, and I don't feel like they have chemistry on their own. And I mean, like, there's enough space left in the book to change that, but a wee bit concerning at this point. Okay, so I can't sleep, so we've made some more progress. With retellings, you have to go in knowing that things are going to be different, but the prologue was very fairy tale. I don't remember the system classifications for myths, legends, folk tales, and fairy tales, but and of course, like all of them bleed into one another, but it kind of veered me off from what I was expecting. And I kind of came to that realization with, I think this would be like a Disney movie. I think this would work really well as like a Disney movie. And we just came to a bit which was very like, oh, we're trying to do social commentary. And I'm not saying it's bad social commentary, but just that it was very, in bright capital letters, this is social commentary, which was very clumsy, we'll say. I don't feel like anything new has come to light in all this time. Yeah. I don't. It's been over 50 pages, and I feel like something should have happened, but again, we'll see. Anyway, I know I said we will see, but it is dinner time, so oof, that is not coming out. Okay, I know I said that we'll see, but it is dinner time, so that might actually be it for today. I would like to finish it though, so we'll see how it goes. Actually, that's really nice. Fancy.
It's only put the water to the very side and fry it up until it looks overcooked. Right. it's going to do it. So he likes it at this side,
Yeah.
doesn't he?
Oh,
You've got a sizzle. I feel I'm losing the soup to steam.
so we've gone from intriguing to frustrating because there have been snippets of the myth as in the universe of the book. And here, Chang'e was a maid to the Heavenly Emperor, which just begs the question: why is it these two kids who are doing all this? Where are all of the other gods and immortals? Like, I understand that a function of children's literature is like kids know the world is big and scary, and when you're like told to sit down and let the grown-ups deal with it, it's good to have like fiction where you see the kids who don't get that support and still overcome. But honestly, it would have been better, I feel, at this point. Maybe later on it's dealt with, but like, you have the Heavenly Emperor, and he's the Emperor. He has an army. And they're not doing anything. Like, I can't remember that god who has like 3 eyes, and I think one of them is an all-seeing eye, and it's like, oh, you're really gonna kind of like nod towards that and also completely ignore all of its implications. Like, 276, and mentioning that he was an immortal and he served the Emperor of the Eastern Sea, I think, just kind of makes it worse. That's another. You just keep adding more people who could be doing things. It's like 37 past, and I have finished. I managed to do it today. Surprising, and also on a personal level, I didn't really like it. Even at the end, I'm not convinced that they were ever in love. And there were surprising and interesting choices, but I didn't enjoy it personally. I understand that Romeo and Juliet has come to be shorthand for star-crossed lovers. However, if you're going to advertise your book as like a spellbinding reinterpretation of Romeo and Juliet, instead of just using it as shorthand for star-crossed lovers, you kind of need to keep in mind two houses both alike in dignity. Because one of these families had a fuck ton of reasons to hate the other. And it seems like a really weird thing to get caught up in. Because for all the Romeo and Julieting, that doesn't actually matter. I would argue that that does not matter. But I do understand that of the two, Romeo and Juliet is more known to like an American UK audience. It just feels like it was really. It feels like a disservice to have that be like the primary comparison and mythology elements taking a back seat. There were quite a few elements actually. The rabbit. I did quite I thought that was quite interesting. I don't. It was like a fun reference and like a cute animal companion. I don't quite understand when, like, if you're saying one thing, the most important part of the moon kind of cracked and fell off, why is there also a rabbit? Because they're two separate entities. Like the jade rabbit is absolutely a thing, but that's not one thing that's falling off the moon in that case. And there's only one character I found likable, which is probably why I gave it 1 star. I did write in like the review section 1.5, but I'm not going to call the book unimaginative because that's incredibly untrue and would be incredibly mean to say. And the way things played out was interesting. I didn't see it coming, but again, it did feel for most of it to me like a Disney Channel original movie, even though, for instance, there are graphic depictions of abuse, parental abuse, emotional and physical abuse. And I know that, that kind of darkness isn't something that you would find in a Disney movie, but I think that's kind of what tripped me up as well because the vibes for me were so Disney, and then the actual content of it was so much darker, and I couldn't reconcile the two. That ending, like, I don't dislike the ending except for Cody. And he was my favourite character, and so, yeah. It just wasn't for me. I did have a good time though, just reading it today and vlogging it. Um, so yeah, I'm glad I did this. I think this is the most fun I could have with this book. Um, I wouldn't say don't read it, just yeah, if you like Disney, but or maybe I don't know. Like I'm stuck in Disney, and I'm like lower end of YA, and then it's like this kid doesn't get to go to school because he has a massive bruise on his face, and he doesn't want teachers to ask about it because he's of age but his brother isn't, and he doesn't want his brother taken into care, and like, yeah, I don't know. I can't place it. I can't place it. So I can't really give like a recommendation or not for it. So yeah, we're gonna leave it here. And I'm gonna say, I know it's past, but I hope Mid Autumn Festival was good to you. And thanks for watching. Bye.